Hello, Alley Cat here. You can see Tiger in the background. I am going to go visit that person that I'm making things for their dog this coming weekend, so I wanted to get everything else done. So I have laid out the leash. Apparently it needs interfacing, and I don't have enough just by itself, so we're gonna have to improvise and kind of put some pieces together. So I'm gonna cut everything for the leash, the harness, the coat, and the leash bag, and it really shouldn't take that long. They're pretty self-explanatory. So when we get to the part where I'm gonna sew everything, I will explain the steps as I go, or I'll read them like last time, and then you guys can see what I'm doing for each one. But the leash is pretty easy. It just wants 75 inches of a fabric, and you put the interfacing in and you fold it together and sew it. So we're gonna start with that. And I figured out what that bag was. It's actually a bag to hold your leash in, which is actually kind of cool. So we're gonna go from there. And time lapse now.
If all of the kings had their queens on the throne, we would pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone. Baby, you're not dancing on your own. Can't live without me, you wanna, but you can't. Nah. Think it's funny, but honey, can't run the show on your own. I can feel my So breathe it in to feel the love. Follow the kings and the queens on the throne. We will pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone. Baby, you're not dancing on your own.
Okay, so we are to the sewing parts, my friends. So we're gonna start with the leash and turn in 5.5 inch on one end of leash, turning under 1/2 inch of raw edge, finger press, stitch close to inner press line, stitch again 3/4 inch from previous stitching. Insert remaining end of leash through swivel clasp, turning in 1 inch on end and turning under 1/2 inch on raw edge. Finger press, stitch close to inner pressed edge. Okay, so I did buy this. This was at Walmart. It might be a little too big for their dog, but this was literally the only one that they had, and so I was kind of really frustrated. So these are kind of confusing directions, but I'm guessing. So we're gonna take our interfacing. First, I'm gonna need to stitch this together. You won't have to do that if you kept your interfacing together, but essentially what we're gonna do is put this interfacing in the middle, and on each side we're gonna take it and sew it like that on each side, and then we're gonna double this and make that into a leash like that. So that's gonna be our leash. We're just gonna double it and then sew it together. So the leash is relatively simple. So we're just gonna speed through the leash and then we'll go to the next part.
Breaking hearts. gonna cry, cry, cry. Not gonna cry, cry, cry. I'm all out of sight. I'm not gonna cry. Won't give you what you want, 'cause I look way too good tonight. I'm all out of salt. Tears are running dry. Won't give you what you want, 'cause I look way too good tonight. I'm all out of sight. I'm all out of salt.
Alone in my car, I'm in a parking lot. Darkest spot in my mind, my tongue is dry. Why do I crumble quickly, stumble swiftly? Cursing myself, I burn the furniture. A million times in my head, I'm feeling low, got nowhere to go, but back up again. You gotta get bruised before you get mad. You gotta fall down before you fight back. Was feeling so weak, but baby I'm strong. Little did I know I'm a champion. I'm a champion. Nobody said it'd be an easy ride. Obstacles in my way, scars never change. Why do I crumble quickly, stumble swiftly? Cursing the world, I burn the songs I wrote. A billion times in my head, I'm feeling low, got nowhere to go, but back up again. You gotta get bruised before you get mad. You gotta fall down before you fight back. Was feeling so weak, but baby I'm strong. Little did I know I'm a champion. I'm a champion. You gotta get bruised before you get mad. You gotta fall down before you fight back. Was feeling so weak, but baby I'm strong. Little did I know I'm a champion. I'm a champion. I'm a champion.
더 세게 날이 그리 대조해 DNA가 원하는데 이건 필연이야 I love us 우리만이 true lover 너를 볼 때마다 왼손수라 치게 몰라 신기하게 자꾸만 모든 게 참 이상해 설마
So finally got the leash done. Got the end where you put it on the dog. All the way to the end. And I made a little loop-de-loop to put your hand through. So the leash is done. I broke a needle. Broke some of my pins. They fell on the floor. I'm gonna have to find them later because I couldn't find them. I don't want to stab my foot. And we went through like a whole spool of yarn. And almost a whole bobbin. So we're gonna move on to the next thing, which is gonna be the carrying bag for the leash. And I'm guessing that there's also gonna be pockets so that we can put other stuff in here. Alright, so this called for some Velcro as well, so I got my Velcro out. So let's look at these instructions. There's only 3 pieces, so hopefully this won't be super complicated. Okay, so it says turn in 1/4 inch on long edges of loop, which is gonna be the little tiny piece right here. So we're essentially just gonna, and then fold loop along fold line having wrong sides together. Press stitch close to pressed edges. Okay, so we're just gonna be doing what we essentially just did with the leash, but on a much smaller scale. So then you turn in 1/4 inch on lower edge of front and back. Press stitch 1/8 from the edge. So that's gonna be the front and the back is this big piece. So we're going to stitch the top, fold it under twice so that we hide the raw edge. So then we're gonna cut one section of Velcro 3.5 inches long. So let me see how long. This might actually be, yeah. So this piece that I used from the bed is actually just long enough, so I don't even need all this. Look at that bed. Funny how that works out. That's why you always keep your remnants. So then it says to cut the Velcro 3.5 inches long. On right side, put the stiff side of the Velcro within the placement lines on the front and back as shown. Stitch in place. Then it says fold front and back along fold line, having right sides together and matching small circles, based side edges. Alright, so then you can see here that there's a fold line, so we're gonna fold it, and then based just means sew, so it wants us to sew here. Yep. And then it wants us to put the Velcro on this part, which this is. So then it says pin facing to front and back, having right sides together and matching symbols. Stitch along sides and upper edge of case and a 1/4 inch seam. So I'm guessing that this is like the flap that goes on top, right? So then it says turn right side out and press. And then it's going to have us put the, it's going to have us put this in, which this is the loop. So it's just going to be like this so that you can put something through it and attach it to something. So that being said, let's make the bag.
You are a riptide to me that's dragging me down. Strike a match and I'll burn you
decided not to use the Velcro because, to be frank, I thought it was kind of dumb considering how this case closes anyway. So this is it, and then you can attach it. It looks like you can attach it to like a keychain or something, which is pretty cute. I still got some frames I need to get off. But let's do a test and see if the leash actually fits, because it's a pretty big leash to go on this little thing, so let's see. I don't know, man. I think I made the leash too big. Yeah. It's a nice concept. You could probably use it for like treats or something. I'll still give it to her because maybe she'll use it. But yeah. So it's just a little pouch right there. Could probably put treats in it or something. Or a cell phone. Could use it for a lot of things. But with that being said, I'm actually pretty tired tonight, so I will pick this up tomorrow and then hopefully edit the video soon. Hi everyone, we're gonna finish these today. So I believe the next one that I'm gonna be making is the harness. Let me see, yes, harness vest. So because her name is Rosie, we're going to be using this cute little rose fabric that we used for her bed. And I'm going to read the instructions here first. And we got some fleece so that it'll be nice and soft for her. So it says for single-sided fabrics, pin lining 5, which would be this, to front of 5, having wrong sides together and edges even, and then basted the whole way around. So it wants me to take the lining, which for the lining I'm using fleece because she's a puppy, so I want it to be nice and soft. And this is the front part that it wants you to put it to. And this was cut on a seam. I don't know if I explained that when I cut everything. So when you open it up, here's your wrong side. Fleece doesn't have a wrong side, so we're just going to put this on top of the fleece and sew it together. Then it says, encase edges of front with bias tape all the way around. I don't have any bias tape. I did not feel like going to buy bias tape. So I actually bought this ribbon when I was making masks. I was cutting this size of ribbon in half to tie behind the head when I ran out of elastic. So we're going to use this instead of double bias tape. The only perk about double bias tape is it doesn't have these lines through it. Oh, it doesn't have like the pleat marks. Yeah, you can see it, like the lines that ribbon has. Some ribbon doesn't, but this ribbon does, and then it's already folded so you can put it on. So I'm just going to be doing a little bit more work with the ribbon, but that's fine. And then we need Velcro again. It says cut one section from Velcro the length of placement line on the lower left straps. So that would be, we go back to our pattern here. Oh, okay, I see. So usually they put like a box, but they put placement line for Velcro right here. So that's how long it's going to have to be. And I have Velcro. So we will be cutting that as we go. And it says on the inside, center soft section of Velcro over placement line on one lower strap as shown, stitch in place. And then it says on outside, center stiff section of Velcro over placement line on remaining lower strap as shown, stitch in place. So, and then it says on outside, center stiff sections of Velcro over placement lines on upper straps as shown, stitch in place. Okay, so it calls for a little clasp thing to attach the leash to, which makes sense, right? But I did not know that. So we're going to compromise and make our own little loop out of a leather piece that I have. I've used it for drawstring bags before. So I'm going to use this leather cord that I have to make our own little loop for the leash. Because she's just a really small dog, so she doesn't need anything like crazy industrial or anything like that. So this piece because the pattern was so small, it actually made it bigger. So this small box here is actually what I needed for the loop. So I'm gonna have to fix that and just cut underneath the pattern. And then we're gonna turn it in on itself, turn it into a loop, put it on the back of the harness. And then we're gonna use the leather piece to create, so I'm gonna have to sew that together, which is gonna be a pain, but that's fine. And then we're gonna put it together and then we have a vest. So hopefully this shouldn't take me too long.
Things, the way you hate me. I miss the screaming, the way that you blame me. I miss the rough sex, leaves me a mess. I miss the feeling of pains in my chest. Miss the phone calls when it's your fault. I miss the late nights, don't miss you at all. I like that kick in the face. Everything you do to me, I love the way that it hurts. I don't miss you, I miss the misery.
disappear. I'm your eraser. Ain't the cut just like a razor. Murder business, world my blazer. I got all the boys on me. I got all the lines on ring. Knocking dead, turning heads. I got all the eyes on me. Lady face, 걸어 들어와. 유행 선두자. 원하지만 못하잖아. 애가 타잖아. You like whoa. 갈리 유도 go. 난 알지, I know. 준비해. Cause I like the ball. 멈추지 않아. 나는 내 그게 like a bag. 그거 말고 bye. 믿어봐. 그만큼 크게. 어깨 펴고 high. 100% 덤비지 못해. 죽여주잖아. 나는 boss. 간지 with the sauce. 원하면 줄게.
I'm doing damage when that's how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모든 날 따라해 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane. Coming at you like real, real wild. Here to light it up, set the world on fire. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, 'cause that's what the baddest do. I never going back, nah, nah, that. Diamonds on drip, 'cause I came to make a splash. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, 'cause that's what the baddest do. It's crazy. Sorry for the bad news, sorry I'm so bad. Only took a minute for me to get what you had. Sorry for the bad news, no it makes you sad. There for a minute, baby, you should pack your bags. Way that I look should be breaking the law. If I don't got it, I take what I want. My circle small like a round of applause. You know that I love the sound of applause. You know I mean everything that I say. When you see me come and get out of the way. Back in the sleigh, back in the sleigh. Back and I'm better and ready to stay. I'm doing damage.
Alright, on to the last one, which is going to be a dog coat. So it's pretty easy. We only have 3 parts here. So we have the belt, and then this is the other part of the belt, right here. Yeah, belt. So we're gonna attach these two, and then this is the coat right here. So pretty much all we have to do for this coat is attach the fleece to the backs of each of these parts. Then we're going to attach the 2 pieces of the belt, put the belt over top of this right here so that it goes across the whole body and then it attaches underneath. And I believe there's the smaller part I believe goes around the neck. I gotta make sure that I do it correct. But we're pretty much just gonna be adding the fleece to all of these, and then I have to line it again. And again, I didn't really feel like wasting my money on the double-sided tape when I could just use more ribbon. I've had this ribbon for forever. I bought it for masks and nobody's been buying them, so I might as well use it because it worked well for the harness, so might as well. So cue time lapse here.
Gonna be okay. No matter what you've been through, here you are. No matter if you think you're falling apart, it's gonna be okay. And there is a battle raging in your heart, but you must win. It comes for all of us, saying we are not enough. So fight for your life. The world's gonna try to sell you some lies. So many times now I was supposed to tap out. All the walls would fall down around me. All anybody would tell me is all that bad news. I was gonna fall through, but no matter what they say or what they say, it's gonna be okay.
it every day. Kali that girl, Kali go girl, Kali don't stop, Kali don't skirt, Kali got a job, Kali go to work. 뜨거워 언제나 don't get burned. 넘쳐 흘러물 든 a buffet, 죽여주잖아 like a buffet. 누가 감히 on my hotbed, 그 문 열지 마 that's a rough day. Don't give any more cause I'm greater than. 필요 없는 시험들 다 뿐이미. But all of my numbers are talking babe. 부루마법 message monopoly. 눈종이 돈이나 real 필요 없대 너네들이 만든 돈들 go get it go get it go get it. 더 미션 눈을 못 떼 못해 그래 너도 그래 cause I got it different.
All I'll ever know is life upon the throne. 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야. You want more? No, I got it so deep down. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it, never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up and away. You know I got it like bum bum, blow your mind. Never giving less, and it's how it'll stay. You know I got it like all day, all the time. When I go, it's for gold. Get it cool, but I'm cold. I don't fit in a mold. I'm a rebel. I don't do what you say. Making moves, I don't wait while I smile in your face. I got different DNA. What's higher than the top? That's me. Come take a look before falling at my feet. 조용히 몸을 숙여봐. So take a look, 나를 기억해, queen. All I'll ever know is life upon the throne. 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야. You want more? No, I got it so deep down. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it, never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up and away. You know I got it like bum bum, blow your mind. Never giving less, and it's how it'll stay. You know I got it like all day, all the time. Way out，感觉犹如海浪的味道，不断往前，You'll never way down. This is how I do it every day. Wow, wow，这一路上的奇迹都记住了你的每一个瞬间，无比的耀眼。I know you want some more，准备好就一起走，Giving it all more。No, I got it so deep down. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it, never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up and away. You know I got it like bum
ask me why I choose to lie, I stay blind. Oh, hey, oh, it's clear to me that you are human too. Your accusations are burning through. Is that what you really want? Oh yeah, oh yeah, that gun is loaded. That gun is loaded, but it's not in my head. That gun is loaded, but it's not in my head. The fire burns, I'm not the one with the match. That gun is loaded, but it's not in my head. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that gun is loaded. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that gun is loaded.
Hey kids! Gather round, little ones, it's music time! Here is the story that I'm telling about a stupid fucking bitch ass melon. Go, 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 go. You fucking with my mojo, jo, jo, jo. Everybody! Go, 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 go. You start us, so let's go, 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 go. Let's go! Ga, 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 goo. Fuck your dad and mama too. Coco in a choco, I go loco if you want me to. Ga, 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 gee. You ain't fucking passing me. Last time that I dissed, it took a government to practice me. Yeah, I saw your shit. Ew, fucking cringe. It's not even funny, and your head is really big. Why? You're approaching me? What, you think I'm nervous? Your audience is just a bunch of motherfucking virgins. Don't tell your mama. Don't be a fucking snitch. Don't be like 6ix9ine, that rainbow fucking bitch. Spartan shit, eat a baby straight off a cliff. If they make it out alive, I'll be the make-a-wish. Go, 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 go. You fucking with my mojo, jo, jo, jo. Go, 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 go. You started, so let's go, 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 go. Fuck your daddy, fuck your mommy too. Fuck everything you love, most of all, fuck you. Cry, 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 yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm your mommy now, you widow baby bitch. I'll say anything, I don't give a fuck. What? Santa isn't real, it's your daddy dressed up.
Alright, so I'm gonna take pictures so that I can post them, but here is the coat. So this goes around the neck, like so. So here's your neck, and then that goes below the belly, and then this goes on the little butt. So there you go, made a coat for a doggo. So that completes everything from this sewing kit that I got for all these dog things. So I made one of everything. So I'll make sure I did put the Velcro on. I forgot to say in the beginning that you put, it's kind of obvious that you need Velcro around the neck. I always like to use extra large pieces of Velcro because you never know if the dog's going to get bigger. It's a puppy right now, so they'll probably have to put it as small as it'll possibly go. But as the dog gets bigger, hopefully the coat will still stay with them. And for here, I used a really long piece of Velcro. Oh, the lighting is bad, but I have Velcro from here to here. And it's on white fleece, so you can't see it, but it's this long. And I just did that because, again, she's a puppy right now. But hopefully, as she grows, this can stay with her. And her name is Rosie, so this is perfect. It's super cute. Alright guys, thanks for joining me for this tutorial. I'll make sure that I put little things so that you know what I'm doing. But like I said, this gray here, it says to use bias tape, which would probably make your life a whole lot easier. And this does, I'm not going to put it in here, but this, whenever I was sewing over it, it made like a squeaky noise and it was making me laugh. Because you're not really supposed to sew over ribbon like that, but improvisation is my greatest feat. All right, everyone, have a great night. Stay well, and thank you for joining me for this So With Me. Have a good one.
Why is he dissing 6ix9ine?